is Chesna Alexander, and welcome to Open Studio. Today we're discussing sports and education and the importance of both. With me today to discuss this topic is Councillor Eddie Andrews. Thank you so much. I know you're really, really busy. You've got so many things that you have on your plate, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me. So tell me a bit about the work that you do at the moment. I know you're the chairperson of the sub-council committee in Mitchell's Plain.
It's also, I forgot, I was thinking about this morning, it's Bok Friday. I should have actually worn
Yes, tomorrow's Sports Day.
Tomorrow's Sports Day. Currently, I think you've alluded to, I was a sports person, now working for the City of Cape Town, and the exciting part is that I can actually serve my community where I grew up in, and I have budget. I think that's important. If I don't have enough money, I can lobby my colleagues to get some more money for projects and to sort of upgrading my community.
And what kind of projects are you busy with at the moment?
I think I sort of have some key focus areas. I've got seniors. I do believe that we should learn from the next generation, and how do we transfer those sort of skills. And then you've got your women and those that are, and children that are vulnerable. I think just even in this month of October, we have got an empowering event for women that have been abused or are being abused, and to hear from those who are able to successfully exit an abusive relationship. And a project that's very close to my heart is the DAD project, the Decision Affects Destinies program. It's a mentor program. It basically means that one decision affects many destinies. The consequence thereof, it's up to you if it's a positive or negative consequence.
Absolutely. Every day you get up, you make a choice, and if there's a positive choice, you're leading to your positive life. So again, I think that's a great concept and a project that you're busy with. So you was going into counselling a choice, or did you just happen to start with something and found your way into becoming a counsellor?
Sure.
Did it just happen by chance? Or?
Yeah, that's a question most people ask me as well. I believe life is a cycle of relationships. I also believe that we are given platforms that we must use to whatever your agenda is as well. I see, as somebody, when I was playing sport, I saw sport as a vehicle at that season where I found myself, and I see politics also as a vehicle for me to serve my community, and to say, how can I be that link between the individual and government as the responsible stakeholder. So to answer your question, was certainly something I literally fell into and just saw, this an awesome opportunity.
Okay, so the reason I was asking about if you fell into it, because I know that you were representing South Africa in rugby at some point in your life. How did that go, and do you miss it at all?
Yeah. I at times I do miss it. I think a friend of mine said it takes about a good 2 years to get over it. I think it took me 4 years to get over it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I enjoyed the season. I was really fortunate to have played, for the Springboks and the Stormers in Western Province. I should never have played because of an injury that at the end of the day resulted me in not being able to continue playing. But I'm thankful for the opportunity, and also the fact that I come from Mitchell's Plain. It's a community that people frown upon with a negative stigma attached to it. But it's my community, and I love it. And there are good things, and good things can happen in my community. So I was very happy that I could just represent my family, my community in an international platform.
And how did you get into sport? Was that something that because, in Mitchell's Plain specifically, parents, when they see that little bit of skill that you have in any code, they push you to do even more, whether you want to or not. I'll call it a victim of that. There was some skills that I had in the sports codes, and it was, you have to do this. This is your career. This is the way forward. Do you think was that the case for you, or was it a matter of, this is what I love doing, I'm going to do it, whether you tell me I can or cannot do it, this is my thing?
Yeah, I think that, again, I literally fell into it. I never played rugby at school. The codes I focused on was soccer and cricket and hockey as well. And only after school, I played 1 or 2 games for the rugby team. After school, I put on too much weight. And I literally picked up the phone to the Western Province Rugby Football Union, and I asked them, where's the nearest club so I can go play rugby?
So you got into the code through club sport, not through the... Normally it's sport, it's during the school years that people recognize your skills and your talents.
The
and
club systems, yeah.
Yes. So you went through the club system, and
Yeah.
this is after school.
This is after school.
And cricket and hockey?
No, that just died at school. It died a slow death at school, well, immediate death at school, and focused on rugby because, I think the extra baggage around the abdomen area sort of confirmed I should play rugby.
Okay. So you've been exposed to quite a few students or children playing sport as well as their parents. Do you think that the parents play a big role in whether the child makes a success in the career, in their sports career?
Absolutely. Just to latch on to your earlier question, my parents weren't that familiar with rugby in terms of helping me improve technically as a player.
Okay.
But the one thing that they did give me was the support. Coming to the games and shouting, not actually sure what the rules of rugby are, but just being there.
And running onto the field when the ref is telling you something.
Oh, no, they were. I think they were a bit more calm in that regard.
Because I see a lot of soccer moms do that.
My goodness, yeah. It confirms why the soccer players are in the field and they're arguing with the ref. The parents do it, but I think my parents supported me, and then also I had a very good circle of friends that went with me after school. We used to go and they support me. So I can confidently say that I had a healthy support structure, and generally the support structure is very important to any aspiring individual, whether you want to be successful on the field or off the field, just generally in life. I think that support structure is critical.
Do you think that sometimes coaches and parents take it a little overboard in terms of support, or what they feel is support is more pressure than support? Have you experienced that at all?
If you asked me that, and before my son played rugby, I would have probably said no. But I've seen the teams that they play against. I've seen the coaches, how he engages with the players. I have seen parents aggressively running along the touchline and having words with the child
Their own
on
children,
the field.
yeah.
And that to me is concerning. And I've purposed in my heart since my son, in his 10 years now, he's played since 5, played 5 years rugby. And I've purposed in my heart that I will never be that parent. Purely, more importantly for me, because you've got that respect in the code itself, and so people respect and value your opinion. So I sort of just divorced myself from that in a sense. But my role, my primary role, is now as a parent and supporting. And even though I want to, if my son's on the bench, maybe
Jump up and
jump in. But it's so far, it's really been good, and I've not needed to do that. But yeah, I think definitely you have those coaches. If let's say if it's a school, a good school, and they're paying the coach, his services have been procured to produce results.
Yeah.
And that at the end of the day could translate in him being very hard on the players and ignoring the fact that you're working with 9-10-year-olds, and not grown men or adults.
What is your opinion on the emotional state that or effect that it has, or even mental effect that it has on kids? Because they've got this pressure at that age. They need to do, or most kids are told, you do as the elders tell you to do. So if you are screamed and yelled at, you need to do what is, whether as a child you feel comfortable in doing it is irrelevant. What is your opinion on that? How does
I think if the coach is doing it, then the parent should play an important role to balance that out. The one thing that I always tell my kids, whatever you do, just make sure that you do it to the best of your ability. Don't be too focused on the result. And ironically, all three of them are very competitive by nature. And it's not something we instilled in them, it's just that they sort of gravitate towards that. So whether you win or lose, it's not important. However, if the parent is the person that is doing that, then hopefully the coach should play an important part there. But if both of them are doing it, I'm really hoping and praying that somewhere along the child's line in his life, that someone is saying to him, hey, hold on, it's just a sport, and whatever you're doing, just do it to the best of your ability. You're not competing against anyone else but yourself. And what I tell my kids is that where you stopped yesterday, just try and raise your own bar, but don't raise your teammates' bar or what your coach's expectation is, because the coach may or may not select you. That's okay, as long as you improve as an individual, and that's all that I can ask for.
Outside of being supportive of your kids and their sport, are you involved in sport in any other way at this time?
Oh, I am a aspiring road runner.
Okay, aspiring. That means not yet.
Look, I'm flirting with it. I've sort of started running. September, I think it was a year. Started running. 2 months later, in November last year, a friend of mine said to enter a 21-kilometer race. Now you must understand that, I mean, I'm 120 k's plus, so to run for 3 hours is no easy feat. I went and I entered the race and sort of been running on and off since then. So yes, I do run, and that's my sport, if you will, now that I've retired from rugby.
You should actually just get on the field with your kids. I'm pretty sure they'll and try and catch them.
Yeah, but remember that's quick and it's fast. I'm a diesel engine. I go far and I go slow.
And but you get where you need
I get
to,
where I
where
need
you
to
need
go.
to be. Do you think that sports is really important for kids in our community? If you're talking about the Mitchells Plain community, do you think that it is a vehicle to keep them away from harm?
Absolutely, yes. Besides the harm, it's a vehicle that you can use to develop as an individual, to improve your quality of life, and also you then become a role model for your community where you're saying, hey, hold on, I have achieved, irrespective as to what circumstances has dictated to me, and you can too. I also come from that street where you stay. I also come from that community. So sport is an amazing vehicle. And we're not talking about playing national, provincially. I think generally there are life skills that in a team dynamics is learned. That is critical, because you must also understand, in our communities, parents are not able to play the parenting role that is required, purely because they are primarily focusing on providing for the child. And so there's no time to engage. It's not often they don't have the conversation. Hey, so how was your day? Hey, let me see if I can help you with your homework. How are you coping with this? Those conversations don't happen. And of course, then society parents, and that contributes towards social ills in our community. So if the child is playing sport in a, not even if it's just in that setup and environment, it is of huge value to the individual and his development. And of course, keeps him out of harm as well.
That's the great part about sports, and I agree with you. In today's life, people are so busy, parents are so busy trying to support their families that they neglect the children and their needs, and they don't talk about homework anymore. There's maybe a question of how was your sports day? What are you doing? I think at this point, they're so frustrated in having to provide for the needs of the sport that they forget to take part of the child's life in that aspect. We're going to a break right now, and when we get back, we'll discuss the importance of education in terms of your sports career. We'll see you in a moment.
At Cape Town TV, we reach thousands of passionate Cape Townians every day. We offer you affordable, low-cost advertising solutions. All of this at a price that works for you. If you want to increase your sales, improve your brand awareness, or advertise your event, then it's time to look at Cape Town TV. To find out more about advertising on Cape Town TV, please give us a call on 021 448 0448 or email us to sales@capetowntv.org.
Welcome back to Open Studio. Today we're discussing the importance of sports and education, and with us today is Councillor Eddie Andrews. So, Councillor, we were talking in the break about the support systems and where parents are so busy in life with trying to provide for the kids that they sort of miss the mark when it comes to enjoying their children's lives. You mentioned that a support structure is vital for both parent and child to make a success for the child in their lives, if it's a sports career or otherwise. You want to just repeat what we were saying about being a busy parent yourself and at least having the support structure in place?
Yeah, look, I mentioned earlier on that sometimes in our communities, the primary focus of the parent is to provide, and then they leave early and they come back late at night. And the child is let go to school, come home, and of course there's a 3-hour gap between 3 and 6 that they're busy doing whatever they should be doing. So ideally that's the slot that the sporting code can, they can participate in a sporting code. I've really been blessed in the sense that even my work now takes a lot of your time, but my wife is fortunate. My wife is able to stay at home with the kids, so she's the home executive in our family, and we have a tag team approach. If she can't be there, I go. If I can't be there, she go, and I think that's a good thing. So generally, there must be strategy as to how you're going to do it, and don't just think these things happen. You've got to plan, you've got to discuss it. We are fortunate, we discuss our week and where you're going to, just have that sort of 5-minute conversation so everyone's on the same page and we're aware of what's happening around as well. So that, I think a healthy tag team approach is required.
So in your situation, because there is your wife who has the available time to do all the running around and getting them where they need to be at certain times, do you have any advice for the home that has two parents both working, or where there's a home where there's just one parent in the child's life who has to work in order to provide for the family? What advice would you have in terms of getting around the logistics of sports?
I think definitely identify a safe space. A safe space could be a family member that's close by that is able to pick up kids. If there's no family member, befriend your child's parents, your friend in their class, and saying, he actually stays close by. Could I leave my son with you when I get back from home? And even if there's a fee, attached to it, or some meal that you send your child's aftercare lunch pack with, have that conversation. And the same principle should be applied to the coach. Have the conversation with the coach. Sometimes my wife is busy on a Saturday, I may be working on a Saturday, so the coach knows I'll drop him in the morning, and if it's cricket, and I'll get him after 2, I'll get him at his place, or Jackie, my wife should be at home. So I think just that conversation with people, and don't be afraid to reach out, in a sense, I think that's important, because sometimes we don't reach out, and you deprive yourself of the child of those opportunities, and you deprive yourself as a parent from sanity, because I think that's important.
And I think it's the pride that comes in when you don't want to ask for support. But sometimes as parents, we need to swallow our pride and think of our child. And if there is a neighbor that you trust or a family member that is willing to support, then you need to lean on them. When we talked earlier about the sports career that you had and transitioning into counseling, and you said you managed to find your way there, it wasn't a choice. Why did you actually leave the sports world? Why not? Because I know there's a lot of people that retire and then they move into coaching in that code. What was the reason that you had to leave sport and move into counseling?
Very good question. But I just want to make another comment on the previous question that you asked. I think in addition to those parents reaching out for help, I think there's also an awesome opportunity for those parents that are able, like, for example, in my life group, there is a lady that she's a single parent, and she's got a son that's the same age as my son. And he's just done playing with soccer. So I said to her, hey, hold on, we'll come fetch him at his grand's place. We'll take him to cricket and we'll drop him at home afterwards. So there's also an opportunity for those families that are able to do it to also to reach out to those single parents and offer them, because they may not ask as well, but even if you just open that door slightly and then they come back in, and I think that's important. And the benefit for me is my son's got a playmate,
Yes.
So again, so it's a bit selfish there, so sanity prevails. But I think there's also an opportunity for that, and and if we're able to do that, how much better would society be, and lighten the load for each other.
If we all just did our little part in life. But coming back to my question.
Yes, the question.
Leaving the sports world.
Yeah, I was, I should never have played rugby. I was born in 2000. I had an injury, and I went to the specialist, lower back injury. The doctor told me I was born with spinal stenosis. Of course, I had no idea what it was. Thank God for Google.
Yes,
that
big words.
And I was born with that, and it's essentially the narrowing of the spine. Okay. And so I'm also born with an extra lower disc in my back, which means you probably would have 5, I would have 6. So which means that the space in my spinal column is narrow and it's compromised. Okay. And so sometimes in sport you have the bulging of your discs, and when my discs at the time bulged, I would have chronic nerve impingement, which it feels like your leg is sleeping all the time.
Yes. And
so I was good to go in 2000. I had a successful stint for about 7 or 8 years, and the same injury reoccurred in 2007. I went to the same doctor, and he looked at my 2000 scan and my 2007 scan, and he says, hold on, but there's not much degeneration here of your disc. I said, Doc, I don't feel that way. I feel terrible. You can't tie your laces, and the leg is just lame. And then after 6 months later, and he said the following, you should consider life after rugby now.
Okay. So is that the first time that you thought about what do I do now?
Yes.
O-
Yes.
Okay. So
And that's sadly the reality of most professional sports persons.
and that leads me to the next question. Do you think education is important?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me, is that if you have the qualifications, you choose the doors you knock on.
Okay.
And if you don't have the qualifications, the doors choose you.
And sometimes no doors
And
open.
sometimes no doors are open, or no doors come knocking your way. And I really believe if you pursue success, success pursues you as well. So for me, it is that if I look at, you always, as a sportsman, you're always thinking about, as an injury, I'll go to the doc, go to the physio, I'll be back in a couple of months. You never think about life after rugby. I was really, really fortunate and blessed, and I thank God for that, in a sense that as soon as I left rugby,
There was-
doors opened for me, and this door opened, and that door opened, and that. And today, I'm employed by the city of Cape Town. I'm doing what I love, and I'm really just grateful for that. But I'm the lucky one. I'm the exception. There are many colleagues or not many, but there are colleagues of mine, of course I won't mention the names,
Yeah.
that have played at the highest level and that are battling financially now. And that's a sad reality that we face.
Because well, in my limited knowledge about sports celebrities and their salaries, you find that people think if you've been up there, you've got the money, so there is no need to think about your future. But when you're actually doing the sport and you're earning that income, do you guys get educated in any way of what to do with it? A financial advisor that says, you know what, maybe start investing, or is that just the lucky few that thinks about that and go ahead and do it on their own?
It depends on who's in your world. As a professional sports person, you've got your agent, your player agent. You've also got your family. You've got your faith, and you've got your health. And so, to me, it is the player's agent also tries and recommends the player invest A, B, and C. I wouldn't necessarily trust everything that the player agent says, but for me, Aziz, that what's important if the individual has that desire. And it comes back to the home environment. If he was reared right as a youngster, whatever happens around him, it won't be that important. It won't convert him in any other manner. And for me, what was my saving grace is that I was fortunate that I had a good circle of friends. So when I played professional sports, I knew other people also. But the key people in my world were just normal John and Peter and Mary and these guys.
Yes.
Mentioning all Bible names there. Yeah. So they were there, and I was comfortable with them, and so I never ever wanted to. Yes, we were blessed materially, but I still stay in Mitchell Spain because I think that's also a good thing. And my wife always says, and she says it nice in Afrikaans, jy moet vir jou so plat hou soos 'n menorreblad.
Yeah.
And so I've been fortunate to have a healthy support structure. You want to achieve things in life, but also just keep perspective. I think that's important. And I'm a very conservative person, so I didn't make decisions that would compromise the family and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was really fortunate in that regard.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that it worked out for you. Do you have any advice, though, for the children that are neglecting their education and parents that are allowing that to happen in order to focus on their sports career?
Sure. I told something I tell Jack and I tell our kids is that focus on your education. It's important. When you have the qualification, it is an opportunity for you, because then you can go knock on doors. And bearing in mind, even with that qualification, the doors you knock on may need to be open. Yeah. I think as a parent, you've got a primary role as a carer, but also just to be that support structure and guide the ship in the right direction. I would be the first one to put up my hand to say our kids, and if you have children, you know it as well, our kids don't always listen to us.
No.
But force your way into the world, or get them into spaces that can shape their mind critically. They can think critically, they can make decisions, they can be exposed to adversity, because in the true worth, in times of adversity, the true worth of one's character is measured. So you want to expose them to that. So I think and if your child doesn't like you, and if my 7-year-old always tells me, I hate you. My daughter, 13-year-old daughter, wants a new cell phone. My boy wants, I don't know, what, a new cricket batter. So I can't always give them what they want, but I can give them what they need.
And as a parent, if that guides you, you're pretty much
On a good
safe
wicket.
on,
Yes,
on a
absolutely.
good stand if you guide them what's needed and not what's wanted.
Exactly.
I just want to catch up on, you mentioned earlier on the DAD program.
Yes.
We just got a few minutes left, and I actually wanted you to share some more on
Absolutely.
that before we
I
go.
think being employed as a councillor of Cape Town and in politics, I go into office knowing very well today I'm able to help somebody, and today I'm also not able to help somebody, and it's okay. It may sound selfish, but in order for me to come back tomorrow full of energy and full of zeal for the day, I need to understand that I'm not able to help everyone.
Right, yeah.
But I can help people that I can help. And sometimes it's not within my reach or my legislative mandate to do that. And I share that context purely because the DAD program, it's my opportunity for sanity to prevail. In a sense, I get to roll up my sleeves. I get to do life with a group of youngsters, grades 6 to 8 at high school. And we do workshops on life. We have 3 principles. The importance of A, attitude, and boldness, B, boldness, and C, courage, and of course D, discipline as well. So we love that. And I get to go on the camps with them. So it's something that's very important dear to my heart. And just to do life with them. And so they can have the necessary skills to make a right decision.
Thank you so much for that, and the encouraging words for the parents as well. And again, thank you for being able to slot us into your very busy schedule. Today we discuss the importance of sports and education. Today we were discussing the sports and education, and again, thank you for sharing your knowledge, coming from a sports world, getting into the business world again, and allowing the parents to hear that it's important to have structure in your life. And if you are a single parent or both parents are working, there is support out there. Reach out to others to keep helping, and those who are able to help, offer your services. Thank you for watching Open Studio today. If you do want to be a presenter on Open Studio, you can simply call 021 448 448 or you can email openstudio@capetowntv.org. We're on TV every day from 5. Please feel free to watch us. Thank you.